Hello, and welcome to the first Jarviskjir stream of the new decade. I can't believe I didn't expect that is the thing. When I saw Neil's excitement, I was like, oh no. Run. Oh, that's much better.
2020, just like Neil's vision now. Yay.
I need to get new glasses, to be fair. But
these aren't fake like dogs.
Yeah.
Mine are fake. Womp womp.
We're here today to celebrate the love between a man and a pile of dice. Yep, good reaction to that.
I would bathe in dice. I would do it.
That's a Patreon photo shoot, if you've ever heard of one.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking about like the logistics of the man loving his dice, and you
1d4 in an unfortunate place, and it's all
you get
over.
a watermelon and you blend it up, and then you just put a hole in it, and you
we're gonna play Jarviskjir Horn of Plenty today. It's been a little bit of a while, so we might want a little bit of a recap of what was going on in this whole campaign, while listening to bespoke musical tracks created for this very campaign by Dungeon Dad himself in his dad dungeon.
It's also known as Dungeon Popper.
Yes, if you can connect those dots. This campaign follows the town of Cornucopia that was destroyed by a dragon, essentially. Decimated by a dragon, the green dragon Malakes. And you recovering from not only the attack of the dragon, but the poisoning of the very land itself and the waters and the rivers. In the Green Valley of Mother's Horn. This game takes place very far away from all the other ones in Jarviskjir. You've actually done a really good job recovering using all of your various skills and talents, using Torin's magical healing and knowledge of the spirits. Richter's just killing things, monsters, very efficiently. Amaryl is seeing the future, effectively, and Boar's survival and hunting skills.
And sass, let's be real.
Sass is not a skill.
It is.
It's a way of life. You have actually recovered your village to a really good degree. You have sources of food enough to manage the population due to both gathering new food sources and training people.
And we recovered the flock.
You recovered the flock, exactly, yeah. You also found a ruin under your village, an ancient gnomish ruin filled with contraptions and mechanical things beyond your understanding that if you dedicated the time of your strongest work lads, you may even be able to find further depths of that dungeon. But there is a danger. I legally cannot say that winter is coming, but winter is
arriving.
Winter, if you were gonna do a line, winter is it's nearly winter. So much so that snow is starting to fall quite commonly, pretty much every day. And winter is going to be a tough time to survive, because not only is it going to be harder to acquire food, although you should be fine if everything goes as planned. In the winter, in this part of the world, you're going to have to deal with monsters, especially with the corruption of the land that happened due to Malakes's poisonous breath. It's actually going to be about 2 weeks since the last session. You've had plenty of time to set up lots of sort of the buildings that need to be built and things like that. Getting used to a new routine, getting used to farming a new type of food, that sort of thing. one of the things that you've done during this week is Belara has dedicated herself to building a boat, most likely with the assistance of Amaryllis, who is a carpenter. You have built a boat out of the poisoned wood. That's actually, the core has become stronger.
Probably guidance from Griff too, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
how's he doing? Can I ask? He's
okay. Fine.
Okay.
As fine as he can be. But you have finished making the boat on this snowy morning. It's one of those times where it snowed over the night. And the sun is still warm enough to melt some of it, but in the shadows of the river trees and the large rocks down the river, there's still quite heavy snow, actually. The boat that you've built together is large enough for the four of you and supplies with ease, and because of the material you made it out of, it's actually pretty solid. It's significantly sturdier than your average rowboat, which is good because the river is always a little bit more treacherous, both at the beginning and the end of winter. So, with that in mind, would you be gathering the party? Because you wanted to take the boat down the river to the trading port of Balcutta at the bottom of it. That was your original plan, anyway.
Yeah, we need to get potions, and I need to secure alcohol for my dad.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons to go, So, as is always a joy, you gotta gather the crew. You gotta gather the party. Amaryllis is there. Amaryllis is, right beside you. Easy enough.
A thing I know that I was planning on doing was having Griff make figurines that I could sell. In order to get him booze.
That's a good idea. You totally could have done that.
Okay.
Figurines and, little wood joinings and stuff. Just something,
Should I, roll
idle
to
hands.
see how many he got? Or do you
No,
want to,
It's not an amount kind of thing.
Okay.
It's you have, with the supplies you're taking with you, this, package of tradable little wooden figurines and wooden crafts. Wooden
They're all
bracelets
legs.
and wooden jewelry are quite common as well.
He was just practicing for making his big one.
This is not okay.
They're all tiny prototypes.
Knees must.
So, with that in mind, you have goods to trade, which is important because beforehand, you really didn't have anything to trade. You were kind of going to go and hope that the money that you had, just idly collected, because your community doesn't use money, would be enough to trade with a community that absolutely does use money. So that's great. You have something to trade.
Oh, can I have made some more arrows during this period as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
You know how to make arrows. You don't really need to worry about arrows,
Okay, fair enough.
Unless you really enjoy keeping track of arrows.
Not particularly, it's just...
Yeah,
that I know.
if you're assuming that Amaryllis every now and again is just fletching.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
fine,
not
Ian.
quite sure
I'll keep
whether
track of
was-
it for you.
It is the middle of the month of Chartreuse, by the way. The next month, the Silver month, is pretty much considered the start of winter. So you've got around 2 weeks till winter really hits.
How long... Oh, we got a nice map. How long will it take for us to get there? If we were...
It depends. It
Because
depends how good your sailing is.
And my layman's understanding of sailing is sailing at winter is dangerous. We're sticking probably nearer the shore, I guess, because we've got a raft, a barge. You don't
So
take that
this
into
would be
deep water.
why don't we say that, because I imagine Torin in his position as a kind of spiritual guide for the community, would check on them every now and again. You would be checking on them and asking these questions, like, how long is it going to take? And for that, Bo, all three of you can give me survival rolls.
All three of us?
Yeah, you're there
All
too.
three of us.
Oh, okay, so it's not including, I was just checking who it was.
Not including Rector, who's not
Yeah.
there.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Belle?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there's a number.
Sorry.
Okay. Logic, as it should be, Belle actually knows what she's talking about. The trip down the river shouldn't take very long going down. It's actually faster, but more dangerous right now because of ice melt and snow melt. There's some areas where it can get a bit more rapid. If you want to go faster, but in a more dangerous route, that is also possible. Your vessel is very solid, so that might be worth taking. The actual journey downriver, because you're very near the edge of the river, probably a day and a half, depending on how fast you go. But there is a big problem. Across that journey, you're going right through the territory of the enemy Minotaur community, the Lion Bulls. They literally have this cliff that bridges over the river, and there's kind of this natural cavern that's crossed through the middle of it, and they live upon that cliff. Now, they don't always check what's going down through the river, but maybe they would now, as they're much more militarized, as they always have been. That's one of the biggest dangers of taking this journey, is that you will be going right through the territory of the Minotaurs that are extremely loyal to the dragon Malakes.
Will I have any sway with them?
You might be able to... You could not convince this whole community. They are loyal to Malakes. They are the ones that attacked you.
Right,
you
but
might
could
be
I
able
grant
to...
a safe passage?
You might be
But, like-
able to convince one or two with a good roll, right? But if the whole community is alerted to your presence, you are the enemy.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able... You could
you.
try... That's always an option to try and see if, look, can we get through here via, trading communication? But you don't have a lot of faith that that would actually work with them in this state, right?
Okay.
If they weren't kind of seduced by the power of Malakes,
I have some
they'd be
ideas.
much more open to that kind of thing. But the actual journey through their territory is mostly under it, right? So it's not a death sentence. It's just danger. But yeah, around a day and a half, longer coming back. But that's would be as expected.
Yeah, so we're traveling down a river to a port city.
Port town.
Port
but yeah.
town. And it's down the river that's the dangerous bit, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's slower coming back up, but less
Or
danger.
down
because
or
you're-
up the river.
Yeah.
That the river is the dangerous bit.
Yeah, you have no reason to believe that Balcutter is going to be a danger to you.
Yeah.
While it is a Minotaur town, that's because this part of Mother's Horn has a lot of Minotaurs living in it. They are not... You don't have any reason to believe they would have anything against you, and you have traders come from there every now and again. And Belle's been there before and stuff like that.
If it's only going to take a few days, then I see no reason not to go before winter.
Agree. We could really use those potions for once we go into the ruins to explore.
Which
That would be a good winter activity as well.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you
exactly.
can't explore in the valley, so you explore underground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good idea.
I'm in
So-
agreement.
Gather Richter and go today. Is that the plan?
Gather Richter, see what he thinks. Probably let other people decide.
I would probably ask Torin to go find Richter and talk him into coming.
Because Richter and Bellara hate each other.
You've
We
been
don't
a
hate each
total.
other. We just don't like each other.
You've been a total wang to him again. No, he doesn't say that. He goes off.
Where would Richter be found?
It's been a while since he's trained by himself because other things have gotten in the way. So he'd be in like the courtyard of his home, I suppose, just practicing with his spear.
Cool. Easy to find him. He's at home and outside. You can see him. Richter is one of those. Just to give you a little tidbit. You can really feel how much you've improved in this last month. It would be something your dad would always say, that it's these kinds of dangers that breed skill, and you can just tell that you've become much more
These
skilled in this
problems,
time.
they make a man son.
Yeah, exactly.
Hiccup. I think Torin would wait for a little while to see whether he's going to complete his regimen. But if it becomes apparent that he's just thrusting away, no stop, you deal with that. Then he would interrupt, probably by throwing a stone, because you don't get near a man.
Yeah. Okay. So
He doesn't just like proper yeet.
Yeah,
a
it's
stone
not.
at a man's head,
Yeah,
but
it's. You couldn't do that if you wanted to. Torin like throws a
dies. End of campaign.
Torin throws a pebble in Richter's way, because I don't imagine Richter would stop for Torin. Making it clear that he's here for more than just on his rounds.
I would do like a fancy pirouette, just for a little bit of fun, and then turn to Torin and hello.
Richter, practicing, I see. It looks like it's going well.
Yes, with all that's been going on, I haven't had time to just take the time to practice.
Well, killing ankegs is a form of practice, some might say. I would say. Most people might say.
True.
And, well, while you've been practicing, Amaryllis and Belle, they built a boat.
Yes, Bellara did say she had ideas for that.
Yeah, and it's not long now. The cold's gonna really set in.
Yeah, I could feel the chill on my knuckles today.
So
don't
we
have
were
long.
thinking we could head down to the port town, see whether we could pick up any supplies to help with winter, or with exploring these gnomish halls.
Do we have things to trade at the moment?
We have a little bit of gold scrounged up. We have some bits, maybe. I don't know whether there's anything significantly of worth. I've picked up a couple bits, but I'm not sure that they'd be worth much.
There's nothing really we can spare. It's not a bad idea, though.
We might be able to beg, ask for some aid. There might be a church of some sort, might be willing to provide alms, that sort of thing.
Is the plan to go today?
Well, the river looks calm. The boat's ready. The cold will be coming. There's no real reason to delay.
Speak as you say that. Oscar, Richter's dad, walks over. No weapon on him, but always in armor and such, with warm winter cloak, and say, boys, good to see you together. Torin, Lehau wants to see you. It seems religious.
Right. Right now? Is it an emergency or?
No, but you don't want to keep her waiting.
Yeah. I think we should head off soon anyway. I'm gonna go see Leia before I get my knuckles wrapped.
Yes. Okay.
Oscar, Rita.
He gives you the dad nod.
He'd take his leave.
My posture was pretty straight talking to Torrin. As soon as I saw Oscar, it straightened even more.
He's like backwards.
Oscar like looks at you, Richter, for a bit, and like looks at the training dummy or whatever you're using, and there's like no change of expression. And he just turns and walks away back into the village.
I sigh, and get back into a stance and practice for maybe 10 more minutes.
When you get to Leia's hut, more or less in the center of the village, Torrin, she has a book open on her low, like, half table of stone. That you don't think you've ever seen before. It's old and water damaged. She's not currently looking through it, but it's like open. She's there. She's crushing up something in a water and pestle, adding water to it.
You wanted to see me, Leia?
Ah, yes. I think it's time for you, young Torrin.
Time? For what?
Well, we don't hold ourselves to all the traditions of our ancestors that crossed the sea to get here. But as a disciple and follower of Eirik, as you have been gifted the power of the winds, I think it is appropriate that you have your rite of passage tattoo now. A symbol of Eirik to show your devotion to him.
I'm not sure I'm ready.
If you're not ready, then we don't do it. But I think you're ready. I think you're more ready than you know.
Well, you're the only real guide I've had on all of this outside of those wins, as you say. If you think I'm ready, Leia, I've got faith. I believe you.
Don't believe me. Believe the winds. She shuffles to the book and smooths out the thin pages to there are multiple designs of unicorns. Eirik being a unicorn spirit. Many of them sort of have a connection to the wind with flowing mane or something like that. Some of them are just the head and the horn, some of them are the full body. Now, you tell me which of these you like, or if there's any changes you'd want, and of course, where we're going to put it on you. It's been a bit of time since I've had to tattoo someone. To steady my hands. She puts down a large tattooing needle.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that makes you go like, whoa.
I don't really know.
Traditionally, these tattoos would go down the head and to elaborate, or on the back, or on the arm, and they would grow as your accomplishments grew.
down the head. Yeah, I could have it on the face. He like looks nervously towards the needle, and yeah, my breath is the wind of Eirik, and my tattoo should follow the same path.
I see. Well then, she takes from what she's crushing up a small bit of amethyst and crunches it into the mortar and pestle and looks at the thing. I think, if you're ready, now this will be a. You will have to steel yourself. This is going to hurt. It hurt when I got mine.
Where'd you get yours?
She will like actually. She has it like down there, and it's kind of from the mane of Eirik. There's some more symbols that flow and move, and they clearly mean something. Leha, despite herself, kind of does cling to some old traditions.
Yeah, I'm ready. Should I lie down?
Oh, yes.
Okay. You've done this before, right?
Oh, many times. Not since my arthritis, mind.
Okay.
And the tattooing begins. Oh, it's funny that chat says that. You do get a stick to bite down onto. And so basically you like a rad facial tattoo of like a unicorn symbolism, right? That's the plan?
Yeah, he wants it to start maybe somewhere around wherever and travel down the same route that his breath will take.
Ah!
So
okay.
the idea is that
yeah.
it will follow down the neck, and eventually,
So
if he reaches that level, show
what would
his
happen,
lungs.
which is super neat, is that the horn would be basically on the cheek. The horn and the face. And then, she doesn't tattoo on the whole body. She's significantly paler by the time she's done that. But also, this is a tattoo you add and it grows to. And she would even be explaining this as we go. From where we come from, every boy and every girl makes this tattoo when they come of age and they choose the paths they want to take. And etc, etc, etc. But yeah, it's done. You're red and puffy around the purple, so it looks horrible right now. Until it kind of sets in and she'll start applying a salve of tea leaves and things to your face.
Maybe we could give one to Richter. It could be a spear down his back, and show why he's not as because he's all stiff.
If he would want one, it might be a grand display of being a protector of the community. His father never did, but then he didn't grow up here, so why would he?
He'd not quite touch because it's sore, but he sort of traces the area a little bit, and then he's like, "Thank you, Leha. I won't let you all the village down."
I trust you won't. And she just sort of goes and sits and reads a bit more of this book on the tattoos, while you can go and gather the party and prepare for a boat trip. Torin has a big red unicorn tattoo on his face right now.
And forever.
And forever. Well, it's not going to be red.
Specifically cuts off that
It's
part.
going to become a nice, cool, not very saturated purple color. You know, it's going to be sort of subtle, but very noticeable, but not like black on.
Yeah.
Or
The corruption's got him. Kill him.
It's like a natural ink.
Yeah, absolutely.
Richter would probably already have gone to the
Yeah.
port, so to
He's
speak.
sitting there. He's on. He's
You have
like,
a, you have a
"I'm on
little
boat."
fishing jetty, yeah. That the boat would most likely be tied to as is rocking and.
So I would see Torrin and notice the tattoo and not say anything. But I would just be like, so we're all here then?
Yeah, I guess we're ready to go.
Alara would be like, "Hey, congratulations," and like make a move to poke at it.
Torrin would definitely flinch. Careful.
You wouldn't stop her?
He'd flinch away.
Okay.
He's not gonna just like fucking deck her. It's like, don't
Like the
touch,
Pope!
smash.
Give her
Yeah.
give her a Pope smack.
I'm gonna put my politically decisive opinion out there. I stand with the Pope.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't just grab an old man like that.
That was a grand moment.
I enjoyed it. It was a divine smile.
Okay.
Third level. Yeah, well, Leha said I'm ready.
Then clearly you are. Are we ready to?
Yes.
I mean, I guess.
Yes, we should go while the wind is favourable.
Right. She would grab her sack of trinkets, hop aboard. So
Yeah,
I
and
have
you got your-
15 gold.
I have 15 gold as well.
I have.
I could win us more.
I'm not sure that we should be gambling. With what little we have.
It's irresponsible.
It's only irresponsible if I lose.
Well, no, the irresponsibility comes from you could lose at any point.
Here's what I suggest. I take 5 of my gold and play.
I mean, it's
Out of
your,
the winnings, only 5 gold every time.
It's your gold, Belara. You can do what you want with it.
But
Just-
this is a big decision to be made by all of us. This is why I'm talking about it rather than just doing it.
I'm just saying, just be careful. We don't have much, and we can't afford for you to get into debt either.
Right.
I believe it's Cornucopia's gold, not hers.
No, it's mine.
She
But
is
I will
good.
use it for Cornucopia.
5 seems reasonable.
And as a show of good faith, she'll take 5 gold coins out of her purse and hand the rest of the purse to Torin.
No, I can't take your money. I trust you, Belle.
You're just holding it.
I'll just take it.
Right.
5 gold every time you win, yes?
Absolutely. You can be right there.
I don't want to be there.
Well, maybe we should, in case she gets into debt, or someone accuses her of cheating, or she actually tries to cheat.
They know I don't cheat.
What? I mean, how do you get a reputation for not cheating? To me, if someone told me that's Jimmy no cheat, I'd question it. Sorry, Amaryllis.
I can watch her if neither of you two wish to. I have stood guards next to many as they gambled before.
That seems like a strange pastime for someone such as yourself.
She can see branches. Perhaps she can see the cards before they're dealt, the dice before they're rolled.
There is an element of that. It is not reliable.
Use it. We need all the gold we can get. Balara, don't.
I don't think
be
we
caught.
should be twisting things in that way. It's not right to cheat.
That's cheating.
Cheat someone out of their money. These people might be in a similar situation to us.
Gambling
It is not cheating in a sense. All it would be picking out a particular path for fate and the flow to follow.
Sounds like ensuring we'd win.
Gambling is the game of the desperate. We are desperate. The people who Balara will face are desperate. She's just desperate more.
Sometimes it's not out of desperation. Sometimes it's just out of fun.
Whatever. Just do what's best for Cornucopia.
Absolutely.
We don't know these people. We're not going to bring harm to them. But I'm willing to bet that we need the gold more than they do right now.
So, as this discussion no doubt continues, I need to ask some questions.
Absolutely.
Who is...
I'm the pilot. No, I'm kidding. I knew where this was going.
Yeah, when it comes to this kind of thing, because it's such a big boat, I do need at least two of you to be involved. Someone who is pretty much piloting, and someone who is rigging, who is just rowing, who is the strength of it. So someone on watch and someone on strength.
I will
Richter
row.
is the oars. And I imagine, you know, probably Richter and Torin have an oar each, but we know what's gonna happen in time of trouble. Is Belle gonna guide the ship?
Sure.
Why don't you be the captain? That's something you've never done before. That's a new experience.
Oh, maybe I should navigate.
Maybe you should be a little
Really,
pathetic little
what
elf.
Belle's doing is navigating. So, you start on the way, and imagine this conversation was happening as you were, you know, pushing away and starting going down the fairly gentle river by your community, because you live by a gentle part of the river, although, corruption. It doesn't look as bad with the snowfall. But there's still a darkness to the river waters that was never there before. It should be crisp and clear this time of year. And there's still tracks of areas where there's dead plants that are now coated in a layer of snow and creaking, twisted trees. But you're heading down the valley, not entirely away from that. You always see signs of the corruption, but not the whole thing. Before you get to the Minotaur territory, you are going to go past an area that could be a little bit treacherous. So I need Belle to make me a survival roll, and Richter to make me a athletics roll.
Can I keep watch on the banks to see if there's anything?
You can give me perception checks to
Aggressive.
look.
Look, yes.
Yeah, whenever I give you a segment.
Threats and opportunities.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You've done a trip like this in a small boat before, Belle, on your own.
I imagine
This is-
she rafts sometimes,
Exactly,
yeah.
sea rafts, and this kind of area is rapids, right? It's not, you know, I don't know if there's a tier rating for rapids, but it's not big tier. But it's definitely, if you lost control of the boat, this boat probably wouldn't smash. But you've smashed rafts in this area before. So it takes a little bit of taking care of. This whole area, the river, is a very rocky river. It's a very rocky area. So the water kind of ebbs and flows and froths and becomes these whitewater rapids in places, especially this time of year when it is more rapid due to the snow melting as the sun gets higher in the sky. Luckily, the two of you, you've done this area before, and Richter is good at listening to these commands and is good at rowing and good at, sharp lean of the boat to get you out of a potentially dangerous situation, but it's never scary. You're never, with rolls that good, it's never even like a troublesome journey at all. Amaryllis, watching the sides of the river, because you don't know this area as well as them. You've not been down this part, at least in living memory. It's surprising how quiet this area is. River notwithstanding, when you went further up towards the gnomes, there were communities by the side of the river and things like this, but this is quiet. It's very much like where Cornucopia is, aside from there's no dirty, stinking humans. Occasionally you see wildlife, but nothing dangerous, nothing monstrous. The corruption, it's still there. Clearly seeping from the water to whatever it can touch. If there's a little side tributary, often they end up in these little fetid ponds that are just going to breed something terrible. They continue to exist. The river needs to be purified in some way for the continued survival out here. But no danger. That is, until after you clear this area of rapids. And the sight before you dims the light slightly. The territory of the Lion, Bull, Minotaur tribe. There are literally warning signs by the side of the river. Bodies staked. Heads of not... They wouldn't be human bodies. They would be bodies of deer and things like that. But clearly warning signs and signs of this is our territory. Like I said, the river feeds, first of all, a nice straight flat area where there's no trouble at all. Then there's a cave that we go under this large cliff that kind of curls over the landscape. It's very dramatic, rocky features. Atop that cliff, and it's not incredibly tall, anyone could climb up and down it, is the more permanent structures of the Minotaur community. These were not, builders, really. It's like a war camp. It's tents and areas where they're currently storing things, and wooden palisade walls with torches burning, and occasionally banners that are really primitive and just this dyed green material to match the color of the dragon. This is dangerous. This is an area where the Minotaur could see you, and Bell would be able to tell you that, the Minotaur prowl. They're, this community is semi-nomadic. You might find one spearfishing or just patrolling the area for intruders. It could be dangerous. And there's always a chance that the actual camp up on the cliff sees you. So, you got any, how are you gonna go about the situation? You just gonna sail? You're gonna try and speed up? You're gonna try and boat casual? What's the plan?
Boat casual.
I so wish that Fog Cloud was a movable spell rather than just creating a cloud of fog and then leaving it somewhere. But yeah, I don't really have much to offer here.
I would suggest to the boys. I would say I think we need to be as quick and quiet as possible.
I shared an instant image of, Lord of the Rings, where the orcs are coming towards Osgiliath. They just have, but instead of the orc who tells them to hurry up and stuff, it's just Doxy, but with the orc's voice. So Doxy just goes, faster, quiet. Oh, that was a funny image.
Of course, it will be hard to be both fast and quiet, but it is possible. And those would both be leaning on Richter, really.
Excuse me. He's only got like a +1 on me.
No, as in he's
weak.
rowing.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna have to do the. I would actually allow if. So it's gonna be an athletics
We
roll and a
could take
stealth
an
roll. You could take a stealth roll, if that would be more preferable to it. It's kind of trading.
Like, I would do a stealth roll?
No, Torrent.
I have decent stealth.
I don't.
In which case, you're doing both the rolls then, Richter. Athletics and stealth.
I would hope that my jangly armor wouldn't be.
No, you're
on
not.
This boat
Yeah,
roll.
this is a different situation. Yeah, this isn't you doing stealth. This is stealthy boating.
You flying casual.
Athletics
Yeah.
and stealth.
One after the other, not at the same time. Don't create some
Good roll.
stealth.
Could have been dangerous. Also a good roll.
Solid.
Hell yeah, bud.
Yeah.
First time
this
Dean's
is
ever.
this is exactly as you'd want. You know, you kind of do crouch low to the boat, and it's a difficult thing to do, to row both quickly and quietly. Rowing quietly revolves around very deliberate motion of the oars and the way it cuts through the water.
Deliberate motions and be quiet about it.
Yeah.
Dane.
He's making a sexy joke.
I once had a little oar once, and I went like this with it. It was on a river punting. I went like this with it, and I'd been doing really well, but I really went for that time, and I didn't cut in enough, so I just chopped, and there was a punt right next to us, and this Chinese lady just got covered in water. I was like, oh my god! It was like a brutally awkward British moment.
Did you
It
just
was
sail by
vicious.
going, sorry?
Yeah, literally, I was like, oh,
What else can you do? What else can you
I'm
do?
so sorry.
You can't magic away the water.
Yeah, right? What's done
Let
is
me
done.
get that for you and whip off your shirt and start drying her.
Now, luckily, there's no other boats on the water. This Minotaurs doesn't have boats. There's no boats beside the water or anything. Occasionally spots where you can tell people hunt or store things, but nothing like that. You do really well in this. Swiftly and quietly bringing you to the cavern under the Minotaur territory. It's dark. After you go, 30, 60 feet in, the light from outside doesn't follow you in. You gonna row through the dark, light a torch, slow
I would
down,
use my lamp.
speed
I
up?
would put my lamp at the front of the boat.
You can do
Torrin will,
both. Yeah.
Torrin will ET.
That's good, because then you have a guiding light and a light so you can see what you're doing. Really good idea.
I'll row a little slower through here.
Yeah. It's a very large cave. I mean, it has to be to have borne through this rock through time. So if you slow down, there's not, and all the light you've gone, there's not really much danger of hitting the sides, but still careful. You never know if there could be fallen rocks or something that create danger beneath the water or something like that. And as you slow down and row through this dark cavern, we're gonna take a little breaky brew. Be back in a moment.
All he needs is coffee.
I do. That's true. So you're not usually me.
That's true.
I just had a big ass cup of it. I'm
Big
good.
ass
It's
cup.
called a mug.
All right. But an
Ray
ass
of
cup
fucking
can store
sunshine.
a buttload, right? Makes sense. All right, let's get out of here.